Hey guys, it's Sassy here again for another blind girl makeup tutorial. Today is episode 8 of 9 and I'm going to be showing you how I apply my eyeshadow. I really hope you've enjoyed this series. There's only one more video left. If you're new to my channel and you don't know what I'm on about, I will leave the playlist link below. And if you've been watching from the beginning, thank you ever so much. I appreciate each and every one of you. So the next step I do is eyeshadow. I suggest putting a little bit of eyeshadow primer on beforehand. That way when you're doing it, it helps it stay for much longer. When you're practicing, of course, it's no big deal if you don't use it at all. You know, it's something you can add to your collection later on. This is a Pro Base by Makeup Academy, and the colours that come in is usually really light colours like a peach or a cream. This one I'm using is like a cream, so what I do is I get out the nozzle and the tip, and because there'll be a lot on it, I dab a little bit on my finger, my ring finger again because it's the lightest finger, and then I just touch my eyelid and just kind of smear it across. So because this isn't a colour that you're using necessarily as eyeshadow, it shouldn't really matter if you get it anywhere else. I bring it right up to the eyebrow bone, just so I know that when I apply my eyeshadow and it will stick. And I'm going to do the same with my right eye, a little bit on my ring finger, sliding that eyelid up into the eyebrow bone. And that's just so that your eyeshadow sticks and stays for the whole day. So I always use a really light base colour when I start off. For this, generally I use the Naked Urban Decay palette, which is what I'm going to use now. So you put your tip of the brush in and you squiggle it out in the powder. I find powders quite easy to use personally. Tap off the excess. You're kind of going to repeat what you did with the eye primer. And it's just dabbing it, little dabbing motions with the odd kind of swipe, and like, so basically what you do is you're kind of doing like windscraper wiper motions following the eyebrow bone, and you just get it all across and then bring it right down into the edges of your eyelid and bring it right up into the corners, again using those windscreen wiper motions just to cover the whole eyelid. So that gives you a nice base. If you're fair skinned like me, then you know, use light colours. If you're more dark skinned, some really beautiful colours to use are creams or golds as your base. But basically it doesn't matter what colours you use. That's my right side done. I'm just going to add a little bit more on my brush and then go over to my left. So now I'm going to go across to my left side. Again, just doing little dabbing motions across the eyelid up into the brow bone, and then doing those windscreen wiper motions. It's really great when you do that when you're starting off with eyeshadow, because it's a really great way of covering the entire eyelid. It's a really soft way of doing it. You're not jabbing yourself in the eye. And as someone that's got really sensitive eyes, then what I do is I just flick up gently into the eyebrow bone just to make sure the whole eyelid's covered. Sweeping down into the corners. Carrying on, I'm just going to go back over to my left side quickly and make sure. Sorry, my right side. So that's the base colour that I use. When you're practicing, don't feel like you have to add tons and tons of colours, but because I have been doing this for a while, I will add more than one. This specific brush has two ends, which basically means you can apply the eyeshadow with one and then blend it in with the other side. Because I love this palette and because the colours look quite nice on my eyes, even if I say so myself, I'm going to be using the Too Faced Chocolate Gold palette. I couldn't tell you all the names because I'm rubbish at things like that, but I'm going to go for quite a light colour and a light gold, and then I'll add a little bit of sparkle at the end. I do love these palettes because they actually smell like chocolate and it just makes me really happy, even if I haven't eaten chocolate. Anyway, right, so I'm actually going to be using the Chocolate Gold because it's a nice base colour again. So you just scoosh your brush in. I say scoosh, but it's... My partner laughs at me. You're dabbing it in basically and sweeping it. And then tapping off the excess. So I'm kind of going to repeat that process that I did with the windscreen wiper motion, going across the bottom of the eyelids. I'm not actually going to go up to the brow bone this time. So it's called the crease. So basically the bit that's in the middle where your eye like folds. And then the windscreen wiper motions. And then little dabbing and blending. And then what you can do is you can use the other end of the brush, and that's actually part of the blender, so I'm going to blend it in to make sure that the colour of the gold and the colour of the peach blend in together. So I'm just going to do that again, dip it in, tap off the excess, and then add the windscreen wipery motions to my left eye. Again, I'm not going up into the brow bone, I'm just going into the crease, as it's called, and then bringing it down, basically along your eyelash line, blending it up and into the crease. And then I will use the other end of the brush again to blend it all in. So I was going to use another colour on the outer crease of my eyelid, but then I thought, you know, the colour suits me and it makes my eyes pop already. So I'm just going to zoom in and show you the effect.
Close up of Sassy's eye. In the top part of the lid near the eyebrow bone you can see peach, and down at the bottom and in the crease you can see the colours of gold. They have been blended in to give a natural but shimmery effect.